Okay, so I'm 26 million and I've got two sisters, 18 and 23. Same mom and dad who are in their 50s. When I was 16, my parents went through this horrendous divorce, like really nasty. The fallout was that my sister stayed with my mom and I ended up living with my dad. And my dad, man, he's been dealt a rough hand. He's disabled, hasn't been able to work since I was 16 because of like a laundry list of medical problems. The big one is kidney failure. He's on dialysis, waiting for a transplant. So basically, for the last decade, I've been his caretaker in a lot of ways. It's been a lot. During this whole time, he barely had any contact with my sisters. Like maybe a phone call on birthdays, that was it. Here's where it gets really frustrating. He in the past allowed my eldest sister to claim benefits she was totally not entitled to. She told them she was a carer for my dad, among other things, and she never cared for him. Not once. This led to so many fights between my dad and me. I felt like he was letting her commit fraud just so he could feel like he was helping her. It drove me nuts. I mean, I got that he wanted to be a good dad, but was this really the way? Then recently, I got a call from his doctor. The doctor told me that my dad was no longer on the transplant list. My heart just sank. Apparently, his health had deteriorated so much that they weren't even sure he'd survive the anesthesia for the operation. The doctor said a major factor was his diet. Just terrible, exacerbating all his existing issues. It was like a punch in the gut. So my wife and I, after hearing that, decided we had to move in with my dad. We figured we could try and get him on a healthier diet, try to whip him back into shape so he'd be eligible for the transplant. It felt like the only thing we could do. We move in and I'm sorting through his mail, just trying to keep things organized, and I find this letter. It's informing him that my youngest sister has applied for a grant for young carers because she's caring for him. I almost choked. My dad is lucky if he sees her once a month, let alone the 16 hours a week this grant requires. I confronted him, and he gave me the same line. He was just trying to help her out. That's when I blew up. Another massive fight. I mean, come on. Me and my wife are the only family members actually supporting him right now. My sisters do nothing. They're both adults too, and haven't lifted a finger to help him, ever. And here he is, essentially committing fraud again to help them out. It's infuriating. We can't help but feel completely taken for granted, unappreciated. We're doing everything we possibly can for him, sacrificing our time, our energy, our money, just trying to make his life a little more comfortable. But time and time again, he chooses to focus his energy on helping my sisters cheat their way to funds and benefits they don't deserve. He's never once asked them to help him. The entire burden of his care rests solely on our shoulders. And get this, of the three of us, I'm the only one not receiving any benefit related to his care. I just stood there, speechless, the injustice of it all weighing me down. We're now at the point where we're seriously considering pulling all our support, both financial and physical, leaving his care entirely to the two women who are benefiting from providing it. It feels awful to think about abandoning him, but what else can we do? So would I be the jerk for withdrawing support from my father? Okay, so update, I guess. I remembered this post because my dad's birthday just passed, and I figured I might as well update it, even if nobody asked for one. Back in January of 2023, my dad died. Complete kidney failure. It wasn't exactly a shock to me, you know? His health had been going downhill for ages, and a transplant just wasn't going to happen. But the rest of the family? They were floored, like completely blindsided. I never understood why they were so surprised. Hadn't they seen him? The last time he spoke to anyone, I'd shown him the 7-week scan of my son, who's 2 now. Can you believe it? His first and only grandchild? We'd rushed to get the earliest scan we possibly could because, well, we knew he didn't have much time left. In the picture, the little dude looked like a seahorse tadpole. Seriously tiny. Dad cried when I showed him. He actually cried. We had a short talk about fatherhood, about what it all meant, before exhaustion just took over. He fell asleep right there, and then he just never woke up properly again. Before he drifted off, I made him promise not to tell anyone about the scan. It was still early days, and I didn't want to jinx it, you know? He looked at me, all tired and hazy, and said, "I'll take it to the grave." And he did. He passed away 3 days later. He kept his word. I really think seeing that scan, having that moment, made him die happy, or at least happier. As for my sisters, they just never changed. Never. I've let it go now, I guess. What else can I do? I knew I couldn't change my dad, especially then, not when he was on borrowed time. But they could have tried. For his birthday that year, the one before he died, we rented a canal boat because he'd always wanted one. He crashed it almost immediately, bless him. It wasn't even that bad. But they just gave him less and less consideration. They basically ignored him completely on what turned out to be his last birthday. No visit, no call, not even a freaking text. Can you imagine? He was devastated. I could see it in his eyes. He reduced contact with them after that, but he never stopped helping them out financially. That was just the kind of guy he was. Then when they found out he was properly dying, they rushed to his side. Suddenly, then they were there. Stayed right there until he passed. But like always, it was too little, too late. He was already unconscious. They hadn't seemed at all urgent when he was first admitted to the hospital. They only showed up when I told them he had chosen to end life support. I'd been told the day he was admitted over 2 weeks earlier that he might not survive. I believed it. I'd seen him in these situations before, and this time felt different. He looked smaller somehow. The rest of the family still thought he would recover. They were all, "Oh, he's bounced back from worse," and didn't treat him as a priority. It didn't treat him as a priority. Made me so angry. Eventually, my dad asked me point blank if he was dying. He could tell something was up. Everyone else had been giving him false hope, mostly for themselves, I think, so I had to be the one to tell him the truth. I had to tell him, "Yes, you're going to die soon. You have no idea how hard that was." He passed away surrounded by family who barely gave him their time when he was alive. I mean, they were there, physically, but, you know, my sisters definitely regret how they treated him now. I know they do, but it's too late, isn't it? We were civil at the funeral. What else could we be? But we haven't spoken since. I scattered my share of his ashes at the end of the canal he never got to see properly. He would have loved it there. My sisters turned theirs into jewelry. I can't even think about that without getting annoyed. I miss him every day, especially now. His grandson looks so much like him. It's actually kind of amazing. A little heartbreaking, too. It's a shame things never got resolved with his daughters while he was alive. But I really think he died a happy man. Or at least content. And that's enough for me. It has to be.